Imagine climbing 2 flights of wooden stairs in a Cedar Rapids office building on a cold November morning in 1885. A treasured Swedish hymnal is tucked under your arm, and the sound of familiar voices singing in your native tongue warms your heart and leaves a mist in your eye. You're far from home, but you're about to learn a new lesson in faith. From the old country to this new land, this is the beginning of something that will last 140 years. When the Cedar Rapids Evening Gazette ran a notice on November 7, 1885, announcing services in the Swedish language in a hall 2 stairs up, these 17 souls, 16 adults, and 1 child gathered to create something extraordinary, the Swedish Evangelical Lutheran Saran Congregation. In 1891, something remarkable happened. These young families, many barely making ends meet, stepped out in faith and scraped together enough funds to buy land and build a church.
I always thought of it as being like a rural church.
Oh, really?
You know, just a little church.
Yeah.
But it was close to downtown.
In 1911, they made a choice that would define them and reflect their spirit of cooperation and the acceptance of differences. Morning services in Swedish for the elders, evening services in English for the young. And then, in 1916, they did something truly revolutionary and remarkable. While America was still 4 years away from giving women the right to vote nationally, the women of Saran Lutheran had the power to vote at congregational meetings. By 1935, the church had grown to 273 members. More importantly, they voted to stop receiving financial aid from the synod. They were standing on their own feet now and could sustain the church home they had built. In 1945, Saran became St. Mark's, a new name for a new era. A building fund was established and land was donated as a site for a new building. The future looked bright until Sunday morning, December 1st, 1946. Picture this. Sunday school is in session. Children are laughing in the basement. Teachers are preparing lessons. Then, smoke.
I don't remember what was wrong with the furnace, but it caught fire behind the walls, so it kind of exploded is the way someone talked about it at that time. Yeah. And so it imploded and the walls came down and so forth. And that was my 16th birthday.
But this church building, God's house, it provided protection. Everyone got out. Teachers led children to safety. No panic, no injuries, just faith in action. For the following 3 years, they worshiped at the YMCA, and in 1949, they rose from the ashes literally, dedicating a beautiful stone building with the old rugged cross over the entrance. $97,000, funds of faith made visible at 2100 First Avenue Northeast. In 1972, they burned the mortgage, debt-free again.
Oh, we got the church paid off. Well, that was just the start. That was, we got that out of the way and make sure that we don't get bogged down in servicing debt and use that money for outreach.
By the 1980s, St. Mark's celebrated its centennial with a party and a new centennial hall. The 1990s brought a new challenge: success. The church building was running out of space. In 1997, someone gave them a gift that changed everything: land in Marion. Enough space to dream bigger and reach farther. May 2nd, 1999. Dedication Day for St. Mark's Faith and Life Center. A new home, a new beginning.
Yeah, we were busting at the seams.
Busting at the seams.
I was sort of disappointed. I know they tried to buy property and they were unsuccessful, so it was inevitable that we had to move.
But the new century would test the church like never before. June 2008, a 500-year flood. Volunteers poured out to help their neighbors, because that's what 123 years of faith had taught them. 2010 brought expansion, 72,000 square feet, a second worship center with a restored 1928 pipe organ that could make angels weep. Then 2020, the historic pandemic that closed church doors everywhere and isolated people from their faith communities. But St. Mark's rose to the new challenge and conducted services outside by the pond in the midst of God's creation. And when a derecho, a hurricane on land, destroyed 2/3 of the area's trees that August, St. Mark's hosted 8 days of hope to provide whatever help was needed to remove debris and restore some semblance of order.
During the derecho, we got to missing each other so bad that we met out on the church parking lot.
In 2023, FaithLife, now carrying that new name, became committed to addressing the city's most pressing need, the affordable housing crisis. With a goal to make a difference with one family at a time, the first FaithLife home became a reality. But here's the real miracle. It was never about the buildings. It was always about the people. The Swedish immigrants who gave sacrificially. The families who worshiped in a YMCA for 3 years. The volunteers who showed up after the flood. The members who wore masks and met outside during a pandemic, again and again. The flames of faith could not be contained. And the story continues.
My favorite thing about FaithLife is when people talk about Jesus, I get to know him more.
That we get to learn about God and Jesus.
I think my favorite thing about FaithLife would be the Wednesday night programming.
I wish that we had church each day. Sitting in the front row all week of church.
I think it will be like with like robots preaching and like robots giving food out.
I really hope that we will have a ton of kids come to Wednesday night, that all the seats will be filled.
I think that FaithLife will be a stronger community and they will be just closer to Jesus and know him more.
Those 16 Swedish immigrants climbing 2 flights of stairs in 1885 didn't build a church. Their faith started a movement. They planted a seed and nurtured it. And that seed has grown into a mighty tree, rooted in faith, branching into the community, bearing fruit for the kingdom. We are FaithLife Lutheran Church. This is our story. And by God's grace, the best chapters are still being written.